Hello everybody, and how is it going? Today we're going to be flying the Aerosoft de Havilland Twin Otter from Princess Juliana International on the island of Saint Maarten to the beautiful Dutch Caribbean island of Saba. We're taking 16 passengers with us today. They're all medical students heading to the school on the island. And we have beautiful sunny skies. We have very little wind, so it should be a very smooth flight. So without further ado, let's get out and do the walk around. Okay, so we start here by the captain's entry door, and we just make sure, first of all, that the static ports are clear of any debris. Our pitot tube is clear, nothing plugging the port. We have here the ram air intake, and we're verifying that that's clear. The front wheel looks in great shape. No brakes, of course. And as we make our way over to the rear under the left wing, we check the wing strut, make sure that's solid. We check the left landing gear and brakes. You can see tires have plenty of tread. Brakes look good. And we visually inspect the leading edge of the wing. Engine, propeller, all looks good. Propeller is free from any chips or signs of wear. The markers look good. We come over to the left aileron. Looks good. Left flap and trim tab looks good. Over by the passenger entry. One of the cargo hatches, including the battery access port, looks closed and locked. The tail skid looks intact. The left elevator looks good. The static wicks are in good shape. Rudder looks good too. The right elevator, also the static wicks. And we make our way over to the right landing gear. Looks good. Brakes look good. The emergency exit door looks good. The right landing flap. Right trim tab and ailerons. Complete with the static wicks. And the leading edge of the wing. Propeller is in good shape. Again, free from nicks. The de-icing boots look good. The rubber looks like it's in good shape, not torn, no cracks, nothing leaking. We look on the ground, no oil stains. And as we make our way over to the first officer's entry door, again we have some static ports. They look free from any debris or anything plugging them. And the right pitot tube looks good. And we check the overall shape of the plane, looks symmetrical, nothing out of the ordinary. So let's head back into the cockpit and continue planning our flight. Alright, now it's in the cockpit. We remove the control locks. Very beautifully modeled airplane, I have to say. Still has a few bugs here and there. Waiting for the latest patch. Should fix them, hopefully. Alright, so let's pull up the checklist. Okay, before starting checks. Control locks removed. Parking brake set. Emergency fuel switches normal. Fuel selector normal. Fuel boost pumps off. Cabin lights and signs are set. Position light on. Pitot heat off. Generators are off. Flaps, we verify they're up. Fuel levers off. Propeller levers, even though the checklist is saying full forward, they actually have to be in their detents for starting. To about okay. Propeller levers, even though this says full forward, actually, as per the real checklist, they need to be in their detents, so right about here for engine start, and then they're brought forward after. Okay, power levers should be about 10%. It's about there. Ignition normal. Switch on the battery, master switch, and we check to make sure that the fuel on board is at least 25%. And it is. We have about maybe 40%. Perfect. More than enough for our flight. Okay. Now the engine start battery. Fuel pumps. Forward fuel pump will be on. And we engage the starter, the right starter. Okay, we look for 14% NG, oil pressure rising, and we introduce the fuel. And we continue to monitor. Make sure engine stabilizes, and the starter should click off. Aft fuel pump on. And we engage the starter for the left. Again, we check to make sure NG is rising. We have oil pressure rising, and when it gets to that 14%, now we can put in fuel. Engine continues to rise, and the starter clicks off. Both propeller levers are set to full forward. Engine is stabilized. And we can do the after start checks. Power lever is to about 50, so just a little bit more. And the generators are at this point switched them on. Engine instruments are within minutes. This is a good opportunity to flip on our bleed air for the air conditioning packs. And the flight, we elevator fans. Okay. We can get Atis for Juliana International.
Juliana Airport information 0419000. Visibility. Sky condition. Few clouds at 1,900 feet. Few clouds at 5,000.
And we're looking for the altimeter setting, which is 3006. Set that again. The landing and departing runway 10, which is what we're going to be using as well. Alright, that's perfect. Hey, what the fuck? Okay, so set the compass, gyros, set the altimeter, caution lights. We have passenger door unlocked, so let's go ahead and close that and get the first officer to go. Should have done that before. Okay, altimeters and clocks set, anti-collision and position lights are set. Okay, taxi checks. We will check our brakes when we start taxiing, which we can do now. Press pushback. Sure, controls are free and clear. Our parking brake. And we want to taxi runway 10, we're going to be pushing the tail to the left. Good. Set our parking brakes. Now we can go ahead with the next set of checks. Make sure we set our trim for takeoff. We have 5 degrees of rudder trim to the right. Alright, let's check our brakes. So take the parking brake off, and we hold the brakes, and we advance the throttles. Brakes are holding. Reduce. Okay, let's just the run-up checks. Parking brake set. Let's arm the auto feather. Anti-ice is off. We don't need it. Beautiful day. So we're autopilot. We're climbing to 2,000 feet. We're gonna climb at about 1,000 to 1,200 feet per minute, or about 85 knots. Okay, and this is where we request taxi clearance. So we'll do that. Okay, let's put on our taxi light on. Taxi to runway 10. I'm noticing a bit of it's just slightly yeah, this is good. I was noticing a bit of a asymmetric thrust from the levers, so both levers push forward, but the left engine seemed to be for the same setting as the right engine. It seems to be pulling a bit more. Could be my imagination though. Okay, so this is a good time to go over our route. So as I said, we're going to be taking off to the east on runway 10. Then we will make a tight right turn to head towards the D0 waypoint. You can see it here on the chart. So we're doing a right turn, tight right turn. Pelican 2, we're going to be following the Pelican 2 departure for an eventual RNAV approach to runway 12 at Saba. Okay. Alright, let's do the run up. Okay. Now the left engine, full throttle. And we bring the propeller lever back. And again forward. And back to 50% idle. Flaps 10 degrees, takeoff. So before takeoff checks, fuel quantity, we still have about 40% fuel. Fuel boost pumps are both on. Rudder trim tab is about 10 degrees, checked. And set and checked. Flight instruments checked, everything's nominal. Radios and nav, set our GPS to GPS. Propeller lever is full forward. Auto feather on. Flaps set to 10 degrees. Pitot heat on. Anti-ice not required. Flight controls. Free and full travel. Transponder set to on. And we're gonna squawk 1200. That's VFR. Landing lights on. And strobes going on. Caution lights. Runway 10. Heading is about 98 degrees. And for takeoff checks complete. Let's do our takeoff roll and give those people sitting there by the fence a good show. Okay, takeoff. Advance the throttles slowly to about 94%. Bit of right rudder. Gusty. Lift off. I don't know what the car's doing there. After takeoff checklists. Climb checklists. Make our right turn. Passing 1,000 feet. Flaps up. Auto feather off. One power set. West. Yeah, feels gusty. Okay. And we can enable our autopilot. about 500 climb. We have reached 2,000 feet. We can set our climb power or our cruise power, which is should be hovering around 160 knots. And relax, back it off a little bit, just to make sure we're maintaining 160 knots or thereabouts. Oh, look at that gorgeous water. This really is beautiful. But with all the restrictions, it's really starting to get difficult not being able to travel. So I guess this is the next best thing. Okay, we have no indicator lights, everything's good. Let's just double check our instruments. Fuel flow, let's go down. Oil pressure is good, temperature is good. Torque, engine temperature, RPM, prop RPM on both engines is good. Fuel quantity. Good. Let's do a bit of a fly around quickly before we get to our next milestone. Wow, I have to say the reflections, this is very beautifully modeled. Nice with the scratches on the Lexan, I'm assuming, or glass. It's probably glass. Interesting. Cut here in emergency. Huh. Hopefully that never has to happen. How beautiful is this view, huh? Here, all the assuming oil or carbon deposits on the paint from the exhaust. It's probably carbon, shouldn't be any oil coming out of there. Okay, so we're heading to waypoint CS 200. Once we pass 200, then we can start our descent to about 1,300 feet. About a minute and a half till we hit that point. This is a very regular flight, actually. Princess Juliana to Saba, and this is the Twin Otter lands there the most out of any other kind of airplane. Okay, so we can start our descent now to 1,300. Dial in about 500 feet per minute descent rate. Actually, let's go about 1,000. We bring the power levers back just a little bit. Make sure we're still going 160. Let's go now to about 1,000 feet. And start slowing down a tad. Prepare for our approach. We can do our descent checks, fuel quantity, plenty of fuel, no caution lights, anti-ice again not required, cabin signs, landing lights are still on. Okay, coming off autopilot, into manual control, let's do a bit of trimming. Can put in first notch of flaps. Slow it down even more. Maintain our approach speed. Another notch of flaps. Make sure we're lined up and stable for the approach. Okay, that's 1,000 feet. We can even go down a little bit. And that was very close. That was way too close for comfort, I have to say. Whew! Well, I have to say, only very experienced pilots get to make this approach, so I don't know. I mean, any landing you walk away from is a good landing, I guess. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, well, welcome to Saba, everybody. It's a bit of dramatic. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've made this approach a few times, and every time get a very weird yaw to the left on landing. I've noticed, so I'm not sure. Okay, looks like that parking spot is taken, so let's go ahead and go forward. We'll put off our taxi light and our strobe lights. And do it nice and slow. Go and stop. Perfect. Well, as I said, welcome to Saba, everybody. Let's do our... Should have done the before landing checks. Okay. After landing, flaps up, anti-ice off, landing lights off, transponder standby or off. We'll do standby off. Trim tabs 0. Anti-collision lights off. Shutdown. Parking brake is set. Power levers idle. Prop levers feathered. Generators are off. Fuel levers are off. Make sure these are feathered. Boost pumps off. Lights are off. Engines are shut down. And batteries, lights are off. Install control lock. And aircraft secure. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this flight. If you liked the flight, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.